This year I travelled to Marrakesh and Berlin, and I wanted to see if my iPhone 11 would be a viable substitute for my bulky cinema camera as my travel rig. And honestly, I was happily surprised with the results. My go-to camera is my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K, but as you can see, once it's all built out, it's actually pretty far from being a pocket-sized camera. For this holiday, I wanted to document all the experiences, but I didn't want to turn the holiday into a full-on shoot. I think my girlfriend might be a bit miffed at that. So that being said, I left my baby at home, took my iPhone 11 and hit the road. Here are 5 pro tips on how to capture better footage on your iPhone. Tip number 1 is actually in the settings. So open the camera settings and you want to go into format. So change it from high efficiency to most compatible. What this does is it changes it from the Apple compression, which I think is just an inferior compression to what you can do when you shoot in most compatible mode. Now this will result in larger file sizes, but that just gives you more options in post-production. I do shoot my B-roll in 60 frames in 6K, and I do know that that does revert back to the high efficiency setting, but when you're in anything other than the 4K 60 frames a second mode, it just gives you a superior codec. Tip number 2 is frame rates and formats. So I'm in Ireland and Europe and we shoot here in 25 frames a second, but if you're in America you'll be shooting in 24 frames a second. Now that being said, I shoot my B-roll in 60 frames a second in 4K. So 60 frames a second on a 25 frames a second timeline slows down to 41.6% and you get that real nice slow-mo. I also shoot it in 4K because that gives me more options in post just to recompose the image or punch in if I want to. When I started shooting when I was younger, I thought that all slow-mo had to be like 120 frames a second at least, or 240 would be the industry standard. 50 frames a second is perfect, so 60 frames a second is ideal, and it gives you real nice smooth slow motion footage in post-production. So shoot all your B-roll in 4K 60 frames a second and then slow it down in post. I don't use the slow-mo option, the 120, because with 120 or even 240 you just need so much light for that image that it can corrupt it. It also shoots it in 1080. Once you start shooting in 4K there's just no going back, just knowing that you can recompose your image in post. So tip number 3, we're going to talk about the different lenses that the iPhone offers. So there's the selfie cam, there's the outward facing cam, and then there's the outward 0.5. Personally, I'd say for like 90% of what I shoot, I use the outward facing regular camera. For me, that's the best. I tend to steer away from the selfie camera just because it's not as good. And also when I'm using the selfie cam, I have a tendency to stare at the screen rather than actually look at the camera, and you get this kind of off-centered composition. I'd use it sparingly. Obviously there's sometimes when I want to get a snap with my girlfriend, so that's when I use it. The 0.5 camera, I just find it really distorts the sides, kind of like the GoPro does, just trying to stretch the image to get everything in. I focus on using the outward facing camera, which is, like I said, 24 to 28mm, and just focusing on your composition. Tip number 4, we're going to talk about shot types. So I was really impressed with the iPhone's image stabilization. Now, like, I wouldn't be doing tracking shots running down the street or anything, but because of the size of the iPhone, you can kind of lock your elbows in and just hold it tight, and you can get really nice push-ins, move your whole body in a smooth motion, push in, pull out, and then little arcs side to side. Try not to just do pan, or tilts up and down, because everyone does that and it just looks so amateur, and you're just trying to get everything rather than focusing on what you want to capture. If you can get something and do like a nice little arc around it, that's just such a far superior shot. I was also very impressed by the macro ability of the lens on the iPhone. You can go in really close to an image and it'll still focus on it, especially if you're shooting in 4K. You can still punch in post again, so you can get really nice insert shots. Get as many insert shots as you can, just nice textures or nice colors or close-ups and stuff, and when you put these into your edit in the end, it really just boosts the production level. Tip number 5, avoid low light as much as you can. So the iPhone isn't great in low light situations. I think it just really pushes up the ISO, which will pixelate the image. Be wary of artificial light. You get that phasing effect where the frequencies don't match, and also if you're shooting screens as well. Now a tip, if you are in a low light situation, I'd push it down to 25 frames a second. because at 25 frames a second, it needs less light for the exposure, so it doesn't have to push up the ISO and corrupt the image as much. So the big plus of shooting on your iPhone is that you always have it on your pocket, and as well, because everyone else constantly has their phones out, people aren't as wary that you'll be shooting on your phone, and you can get away with a bit more. Whereas if you've got a professional looking camera, people are more likely to tell you not to shoot here, not to photograph here, even though everyone else is doing the exact same thing just on their phone. So if you'd like to check out the Berlin and the Marrakesh videos, they'll be linked down below. And if you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for coming.